Hello and welcome to today's YouTube episode. On today's sewing adventure I'm going to be sharing my latest make, some more plans and some works in progress. So let's get started. So just a little bit about what I'm wearing today. Today I am wearing the Paper Theory Patterns Agnes Pyjama Top. So obviously it's made, I wear this one as a shirt. It is made from this lovely fabric Godmother Joni print, and I decided to have the print running vertically and I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the pattern placement as well, and I think that this was a really good use of this fabric. I have had it in my stash, well I did have it in my stash for maybe over a year, so I'm really pleased that I got it out and I was able to use it. And this is a really lovely light shirt to wear, and I'm really happy with the way that that one turned out, so that's what I'm wearing today. So the first thing that I'm going to show you today is actually my latest make. Now this is another Paper Theory Patterns garment, and this is the Paper Theory Patterns Zade, but it is not the jumpsuit. I actually hacked it to make a dress. Now you should be able to see some photos of me wearing that one on the screen. I did talk about it in my last episode as a plan, and I am super happy with the way that it has turned out. This is a linen mix fabric and it's absolutely perfect for this pattern. Now in terms of what I did for the hack for the dress, I added inseam pockets. So I just cut rectangles, so you should be able to see the pocket there. Can you see? Yeah. So that's the pocket. And I just cut 3 rectangles. So one rectangle to join this front bodice on the left, one rectangle to join the front bodice on the right, and then a larger rectangle to go for the back of the skirt. So what I did across the front, because I didn't want to create any bulk across my tummy, and I did talk about it on the last episode, was I just put the pleat in to match the pleat from the front bodice on either side, so that both front panels were fairly flat. And then in the back I actually gathered the skirt, so you should be able to see there that I have gathered the skirt. So I'm super pleased with how that one has turned out. I've actually worn it quite a few times since I've made it, which is great as well. And I really love the fabric. I love the joy that it brings, and I'm not usually a yellow person. I did say that on my last episode, but I do really like this print. I think because it's got the darker background I can wear it and it looks fine. So super pleased with that one, and that is my latest make, and yeah, great way to start today's episode. Now before I show you the works in progress that I've got, I thought I would just show you a couple of other plans that I have kind of come up with in the last week. So one of the plans is to make another pair of Merchant & Mills Heroine jeans. Now I did make these ones. I'll put a picture of the last pair that I made up so you can have a look, in a lighter colour denim, so kind of more of a summer weight. And what I did with those ones is I followed the pattern exactly, so they've got this quite wide leg at the bottom. And when I was having a look on Instagram, I noticed that some people had actually used the harleen bottom of the legs, so the legs taper more. So they'd use this pattern that obviously made the jeans, but for the bottom of the legs they'd use this pattern, the harleen dungarees, where the legs taper off more towards the bottom. So that is the plan that I'm going to make for the next pair of harleen dungarees that I make. Now I'm going to use this gorgeous denim that I bought from Merchant & Mills. It is an 8-ounce denim. It is obviously a darker colour than the last pair I made as well, and I think that that'd be better for winter. Obviously darker colour, the lighter colour is more of a summer kind of jean. So that is my plan for that. And the last ones I made, I used a lot of different embroidery colours, and I used the white embroidery for all of the top stitching. On this pair of jeans, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Aurifil Threads, but I'm going to use the 12 weight for the top stitching. I'm going to just use the traditional kind of gold jean colour, and then I've also got the, is it the 40? It's the 40 weight for underneath, because when you do top stitching obviously your bobbin thread needs to be thinner. So they are the ones that I'm going to use for all the top stitching, and I will use a different Aurifil thread to construct the jeans. I've got a navy thread, which I don't have here, but I do have it. So that is what I'm going to use for that, and I'm really excited to have these as a pair of jeans, a different style from the Megan Nielsen Ash jeans, which I normally wear in my wardrobe this winter. So I'm really excited to make a start on these. I also thought that I might film a sew along of making these jeans to show some of the more trickier processes of jean making and share them with you. So if that's something that you would like, let me know in the comments box below, and I would be happy to do that as a future episode. So at the moment it's just fabric, soon they'll be jeans, and I'm super excited about starting these ones. Another plan that I wanted to share with you today is this. So I saw this recently on Instagram. Someone had made this top. I can't remember who it was, but it is the Simplicity S9 469 pattern, and I'm going to make this view here with this kind of keyhole cut in the front. It looked so lovely on the person that had made it that I thought that I really wanted to try it to see if I could make it. I would also like to make these kind of sleeves here with the ruffle as well. I think that's such beautiful detail, and I think that this would be a really lovely transitional piece for autumn as well. Now the fabrics that I've chosen from my stash to make this out of are these two fabrics here, and these fabrics have been in my stash for over a year, and I know that because I got them both when I visited New Zealand in August last year. So this one here is a cotton lawn fabric, and it has got quite good structure to it, but it's really beautiful. And we all know I love plants and flowers, so I thought that this was a really lovely one. I really like the pink tone, and I just think that that would look really beautiful made up in that pattern. So that is an option to make that top. And then the next one I have chosen is perhaps more of like a wintry pattern, but still quite autumnal actually, because it's got the oranges and the kind of mustard yellows in it as well. But this is a viscose fabric that I got when I was in New Zealand last year as well, so I think that again that would look really nice in this blouse. So I'm excited to make that. I think that that would look really lovely, and it's been a while since I've actually made one of the big four patterns, so it'll be interesting to see how I get on with that. Obviously I'll share that with you once I've made it, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to making a start on this. I think it'll be a really lovely item to have in my wardrobe over the next few months coming into winter. Now the next thing I want to share with you is a toile that I have made for the Closet Core Blanca flight suit. So this is one that I have in my plans. I'm really excited to make it. I shared it last week on my YouTube episode. I want to make it from this stunning floral corduroy fabric, and this is going to be kind of like a very wearable toile that I make, and then I might decide to make it in a slightly different, more subtle fabric after I've made this one, but I really want to make it in this gorgeous cord as well. So what I did over the weekend was I found an old decorating sheet, so you'll have to excuse the state of this fabric, but you know, it works still. So it's just a decorating sheet. It's got kind of like paint and stuff all over it, and I did make a toile just to see how the fit would be on the flight suit, and I've popped a couple of pictures in for you to see. I'm actually really happy with the fit. I had a good test of the toile, so I was kind of picking things up off the floor and moving around a lot and sitting down, and I am actually really happy with the way that this one fits. Also, it was good to do the toile because I misread the instructions and I actually made a mistake on this back piece. I sewed that whole bit down when you're only supposed to sew the top bit down so that it stays nice and open. But that's fine, that's learning, and that shouldn't affect the overall fit of the final garment too much. But I just didn't want to waste this really lovely corduroy fabric. Even though it is a wearable toile, I wanted to just be sure that it would fit and I wouldn't have to make too many adjustments to that one. So really happy with that. Again, I can't wait to make a start on the flight suit. I need to get some more time-ins from somewhere to start all of these lovely projects, which I will find, of course, and I will do. But yeah, so that was another thing that I managed to do last week, was just to double check the fit of the flight suit, and yeah, I'll be able to make a start on that very soon. Now, one of the works in progress I'm going to share with you today is not a garment, it is a quilt. Now, this is the Emma Jean Jansen Boulder Dash quilt, and what I have been doing is I have worked really hard, and it was actually quite hard work, but it was fun and I learned a lot, to get all of these blocks ready to put together for the quilt top for the Boulder Dash quilt. Now, there should be a photo of the Boulder Dash quilt on the screen at the moment so you can see, but what I have done is I have put all of these blocks together, and then as you can see, I've got row 1, and then I've got row 2, and then I've got all the rows down to row 7 ready to assemble. So I'm really excited to get onto that. There's row 7 there. I'm really excited to get onto that and to piece that quilt top, get that all ready. That has been quite a big job, but it has been a lot of fun, and it's been really wonderful to see it all come together. What I'm going to use for the backing on that quilt, and I've got it here with me, is this lovely grey and white floral fabric. So that is what's going to be on the backing of that quilt, and I think that that will tie in really nicely with the tones of the quilt. Obviously we've got some pinks, some mustards, but there are some greys in there as well. Not on this bit, but there are some greys. You can see some lighter greys, some darker greys, and then there's also some lighter greys as well. So I think that that will tie in really nicely, and obviously, you know, you don't see the back and the front together as well. And I'm hoping to do a black binding around that one. So that is an Aurifil challenge. So I've pieced all of that together so far with the Aurifil Threads, and I'm going to put the whole quilt top together with the Aurifil Threads as well. And then what I've got for the top stitching is I've got these gorgeous variated threads. So one of them is like a pink and a yellow, and one of them is just kind of like a yellow and a white. So what I have to do is I have to decide what thread I'm going to use and what pattern I'm going to do for that as well. Now, I did recently buy this beautiful book called Walk, and it's by Jackie Gearing, sorry if I got that wrong, and it's an absolutely amazing book, and it's all about using your walking foot to create the decorative top stitching on your quilt. So I've been having a good old read of this, and I've been having a look at some of the patterns. Now, for the Boulder Dash quilt, it's got that really strong plus shape in it. So I was wondering what pattern to choose, and I do have to kind of decide exactly which one, but there's patterns like this. It takes you through how to do it, how to mark it out on your quilt, exactly what to do. So I wonder if something like that would look quite strong across the plus signs going vertically and horizontally, or something a bit more like random, something like that. So I do have to decide which pattern I want to use, which I can do, but this book is just, I really would recommend it. It's such a good book. It tells you everything you need to know, and then there's some really lovely designs as well. That's the back of the book. So yeah, so I'm going to be using this to help me to decide the design on the quilt top, and that will be kind of a new thing for me, because up until now I've just like kind of followed the pattern of the quilt or stitched in the ditch for the quilt top. So that will be a really fun thing for me to do and to have a look at and to try as well, just to see how I get on. So that hopefully, well, that has to be done by the end of October, so I will be working on that one quite a lot over the next few weeks. Now, the last thing I'm going to share with you today is this. So last time, again, I showed you, this is a work in progress, I showed you this jacket that I wanted to use the English paper piecing to fix up. So I have done that front section there. So that is what it looks like. I'm really pleased with it. I think it looks really beautiful, and I think over time, as I patch the whole jacket up, it has potential to actually look really, really lovely. So that was the first one that I did. I just wanted to show you as well, because I forgot to mention it in the last episode, is for this I'm using the Aurifil 80 weight thread, which is a really fine thread, and it's all hand stitched. So if I show you that, then I don't know if it will, oh, it is focusing, then it's just, all I did was I did the paper piecing in a row instead of in the kind of traditional hexagon bunch, and then I just put it over. There was a really big rip like the rest of the jacket under there, and I just put them on. Now for this one, because the inside of the jacket is kind of backed with the pocket, you can't see the rips from both sides, but I think in the future, like when I do this really big one in the back, I will have to strengthen the paper piecing before I put it on. So that is something that I need to think about for the future, how I will do that, what I'll do. If you've got any ideas for that actually, and you have some time, I'd really appreciate if you could put that in the comments box below, because I'm not actually 100% sure how I will do that. I think maybe I might have to baste it and then put it on, but we'll see how we go. But I'm super pleased with how that little patch has turned out, and it's just given me a glimpse of what the rest of the jacket could look like. So I'm happy that I did that, and I will obviously just be working on that over time, just bit by bit. And there are quite a few holes, as you've seen, so that will be a lovely project to have as an ongoing one between now and February. So that is it for today's YouTube episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. There was quite a lot going on, from finished makes to works in progress to a few more plans, and I can't wait to make a start on the plans and also to finish some of those works in progress. We'll get a little bit closer to finishing some of them. So thank you again for watching. It's fantastic to have you here. If you could like this clip, I would really appreciate that. Also, if you have subscribed, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you haven't yet subscribed, then that would be amazing if you could do so. It just means that you get notifications when I put a new clip up. If you have any thoughts on any of the things I talked about today, then I'd love to hear from you, and you could put a comment in the comments box below. That would be fantastic as well. I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you here again soon.